podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.
PNR.
Hey guys, welcome to another week here on Ring Around The Rosie. I am Kim Brown, your host, aka Platinum Rose Lady. On Wednesday, April 5th, 2018, and it is freezing in Massachusetts. It's like in the 30s, and we might get more snow, and I can't take it anymore. No, it's spring in New England. You gotta love it. It's kind of nuts. Obviously, it's springtime now, so we'd like warm weather to start any day now, please. I mean, considering today was the opening game for the Red Sox, and they won, so World Series, here we come. Trying to be optimistic. I hope everybody who celebrates had a really good Easter, and everybody's had a good week so far. Obviously, everybody is super hyped and pumped and getting really excited for WrestleMania 34 taking place this Sunday, April 8th in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is a party town. Anyway, from what I've heard, I've unfortunately never been to New Orleans. I'd like to go sometime. I've just never had a chance to go. To start off the show, though, I have to break some sad news, and I found out this part this morning, and it was really stunning and very, very sad. Wrestling, old-time wrestler, superstar, manager, very entertaining guy. Jonny Valliant passed away yesterday. He was 71 years old. And he was unfortunately in a traffic accident in the town of Ross Township, which is a suburb of Pittsburgh. He was crossing the street and hit by a truck. The police are looking at this as an accident. Unfortunately, it's a terrible thing. He was 71 years old. I think more people that listen to this show, if you're part of the younger crowd, you might remember him as a manager more than a wrestler. He was one of the Valliant brothers back in the day. And he managed a lot of wrestlers, including Greg Valentine and Brutus Beefcake, managing them to the tag team championship, beating the team of Barry Windham and Mike Rotundo. He as I mentioned, wrestled a lot of people and was also did some stand-up after retiring from wrestling. He also did a little acting. He was in a couple of TV shows, including The Sopranos and also the original Law and Order. He was in a number of feature films, including one that I actually got to see, a very quirky independent film called Kill by Inches, and I was really surprised to see him in that. I didn't see it because I knew he was in it. I saw it because I was just like, oh, this sounds like a really interesting film, and I was watching it, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's Jonny Valliant. It completely freaked me out. So obviously this is a very, very sad thing. When we lose anybody in wrestling, it's a sad thing. So rest in power to Jonny Valliant. So I don't like starting off the show with a sad note like that, but considering the fact that sometimes you wind up scaring yourself and you're like convincing yourself that something's bad when it's not, which is what happened to me yesterday. Now, I know other people have done this. It's not just me. Please don't let it be just me. Sometimes when you go on Twitter, which I do a lot, PlatinumRoseLady at Twitter.com, come follow me if you want to. You go to the little part of Twitter where they have like what's trending, at that hour or something like that. And it could be, a movie or somebody's funny hashtag or something like that. So I'm on my way home last night and I'm on my phone and I'm just checking to see what's trending on Twitter. And I'm looking and it says Shawn Michaels, and instantly my heart went right into my throat. I'm like, what's happened to Shawn? I completely flipped out without making a single sound because I'm in a cab driving home, and I'm like, don't scream, don't scream, don't scream. And I clicked on the link and it said Shawn Michaels has cut his ponytail off. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, we can breathe again now. It's like, okay, deep breath, clear your chi, align your chakras, don't puke all over the inside of the cab from stress. I was like, Shawn's okay. He cut his hair, and damn it, whoever put this up, don't fucking scare me like that. I was I know other people have done this because I've seen it. When Betty White's birthday came up a couple of months ago, somebody had put a hashtag Betty White, and all these people were putting up tweets saying, you scared us, we thought she died, or something like that. So I was like, I need to sometimes I think the only exercise I get is jumping to conclusions. So there's that. That's me all over. I'm a dip. Talking about WrestleMania, and we have to talk about it because that's all anybody's talking about right now. I happened to catch, before I did this show, the top 10 WrestleMania moments as picked by the WWE Universe, probably from things that the WWE said you can pick from this list. I didn't vote, so it was a really cool show. I have to say, it was a very cool show. It was amazing seeing a lot of those matches again and remembering that excitement from those days gone by. It's really interesting, though, how some things still hurt. And you don't realize they're gonna hurt until you see them, and all of a sudden it hurts. I'm just thinking about what I'm talking about is the segment that they had about matches that didn't make the countdown. And there were all these clips of all these great matches, and it was really exciting and awesome. And then to see a match with Eddie Guerrero, and then a few frames later, a match of Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. And it's sorry. It's really amazing how that still hurts. Those losses still resonate, and they still hurt, I mean, it's really weird. It's very weird when you miss people that you've never met. It's a very strange feeling when you miss somebody that you never actually met. You might have been in an arena where they were or something like that, but you never actually, talked with them, got to know them, but you feel like you did. And then when they're gone, there's that hole that you think gets filled. You think that hole gets filled by time and just moving on and stuff like that. And it does fill, and it fills, but it doesn't fill at the same time. That doesn't make any sense. But you get to the point where you're not going to sit there and cry every time you see their picture or something like that, but you still feel that ache, if you know what I mean, that ache in your heart. I mean, I might just be an overly passionate, nitwit that just carries things in their heart for too long. I've been accused of being overly sentimental before, so it's not like it's a big shock or anything like that, but it was good to see those moments. It was good to see those pictures, and it's good that those people won't be forgotten. I guess that's really what I wanted to say. I do have to say one thing that special really, really hammered home for me was exactly why I despise Brock Lesnar so much. One of the countdown moments was, the whole streak that the Undertaker had going for, 20 plus WrestleManias. To have him dropped, we all knew sooner or later the Undertaker's streak was going to end. We just knew it. As fans, as much as we would like to think that it was going to go on and on and on and on and on and on forever ad infinitum, forever and ever, amen. Eventually it was going to come to an end. For it to have come to an end to Lesnar leaves me with such a sour taste in my mouth. Simply because Brock Lesnar does not have the passion that other people have that are in wrestling. The whole thing that Roman Reigns has been saying the last couple of weeks about him being a part-timer and all this stuff like that, and he doesn't respect wrestling and all that, you know what? Yeah. I agree 112% with what Roman says. And the fact that the streak had to end to him, to Lesnar, who doesn't give a shit, it just makes me want to throw up. I mean, it even after all this time, it still makes me feel physically nauseous to think about. I mean, I shouldn't say I hate Brock Lesnar, because I don't know Brock Lesnar. I don't know Brock Lesnar the person. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I don't really want to. I don't like what I see on screen. Put it that way. For one thing, I think his character is a bully and a coward. But the fact that had to happen that way really, really, really gets under my skin. Like, a lot. Talking about WrestleMania, obviously we still have to talk about, it's obviously going to be a great show. There's going to be a lot of exciting matches, including, Shinsuke Nakamura against AJ Styles, which is going to be insane. Charlotte Flair versus Asuka, which is, wow, this match is going to be so awesome. The Andre the Giant Battle Royal, the first ever women's Battle Royal, all of the other matches are going to be really, really awesome. But the one I want to bring up, the thing that I want to talk about real quick, is the match that isn't a match. And I'm not deliberately trying to be obtuse here. I'm honestly not. But this whole, I don't even know what you'd call it anymore, between John Cena and The Undertaker. I mean, this has been going on and on and on and on and on, and tack about 50 more ons on there, and you'll be right about it right. And I've been thinking about this a lot, and the way that the WWE is running with this, I think, is really playing with fire. It's very obvious that they're gambling on the idea that people are going to buy the pay-per-view or sign up for the WWE network so they can get the pay-per-view for free, which I think is the deal. And in case The Undertaker shows up. This whole thing has left me feeling dirty. And I don't mean dirty in the good way I usually feel when I'm dirty, when I have that dirty feeling about Roman Reigns. This is a different kind of dirty. It's just, it's sleazy. It's sleazy, it's cynical. I just don't like it. I mean, if The Undertaker doesn't show up, people will be like, well, we got fucked over. If he does show up, what's the point? He hasn't answered Cena's challenge for weeks, and now he's going to show up. When Cena said he's going to be in the audience as a fan. There's a line from a movie when it comes to The Undertaker. You don't owe these people a damn thing. The Undertaker and the man behind The Undertaker have given us, the universal us, the fan us, have given us so many amazing matches and has put his body through so much crap. And if he wants to call it a day and ride off into the sunset, let him. If he feels like he's well enough and, got it all together enough, which I'm sure he does, to go out there and, kick John Cena around the ring for 30 minutes, fine with me too. This whole thing has just left me uncomfortable. It's not a good reflection on wrestling. That's just my opinion. For what it's worth, and like I said, what do I know? The whole Ronda Rousey, Kurt Angle, Triple H versus, Triple H and Stephanie match. I know what I want to happen, but it's not going to. Basically, what I want to happen is Ronda Rousey kicks the living shit out of Stephanie and then kicks the living shit out of Triple H. That would make me deliriously happy, but since we can't have nice things, that's probably not going to happen. It's the whole, WWE has shareholders to answer to. It's a different environment than it was 20 years ago, and you can't have men and women slugging it out in the ring. Damn it all to hell. But, I want this to work out right, and I want it to make the fans happy, because I just do, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, one match that I want to bring up is the whole Cesaro and Sheamus versus Braun Strowman and whoever his partner is going to be. Now, we got into this on Raw a little bit, with people, dumb people, being like, oh, I want to be your partner, Braun. I'm like, why would you do that? Why? I just don't get it. I still like my idea. I want Braun Strowman to come out by himself and introduce his partner as being a sock puppet of a bunny rabbit on his right hand. It would make me laugh. But I have a sense of humor that could charitably be referred to as sick or twisted. I prefer to view myself as whimsically eccentric, but, some people don't view it that. Some people have no sense of humor. The one match that I'm really like, I don't like where this is going, is the match from SmackDown, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon going against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now, they've done this whole thing where Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were fired by Daniel Bryan, and then promptly they, kicked the shit out of him. And they've been having Kevin and Sami do run-ins at house shows, and, everyone's like, oh, they're not supposed to be here, they're fired and all this. To which I'm like, question, hi, little voice of reality over here in the corner. If they're fired from the WWE and they just happen to run into the ring and start pounding on people, isn't that kind of, I don't know, illegal? I know I watch too much Law and Order for my own good, as my husband is always telling me, but I'm pretty sure that that's not legal. That kind of counts as assault. But the thing that's got me really uncomfortable about this match is the whole stip that got put in that if Kevin and Sami win the match, they're going to be rehired back to SmackDown. So, the way I'm looking at it, one of two things are going to happen. Either Daniel and Shane are going to win and Kevin and Sami are going to show up on Raw, or Daniel and Shane are going to lose because Daniel turns on Shane to help Kevin and Sami get their jobs back. I really tack about 15 more reallys on there. Don't want this to occur this way. Because it's stupid. it's just, if they do this whole, oh, well, I've been friends with them forever kind of thing, when we travel together in the indies and up and down the roads and blah, blah, male bonding, blah, blah. No. They almost killed you, Daniel. No. I just think that would be ridiculous. And of course, we all have to sit there and watch that match and start the clock at the beginning of the match and see how long it is before Shane McMahon climbs up something ridiculously high and hurls himself off of it. Because he seems to have that, hot wired into his DNA. I don't know why, but it does seem to be I really think they need to come up with an actual, medical condition called Shane McMahon syndrome, where you're biologically driven to hurl yourself off something tall once a year. I'm kidding. It's a joke. I kid. I do. I have mad respect for Shane because that guy is nuts. The things that he's put his body through, I'm like, holy fuck, dude. I am impressed and terrified. So, I'm going to do a little Raw and Smackdown results here real quick. Sorry if the show's a little short this week, but I wanted to get it done so we can have something up before WrestleMania, and we'll have another show, obviously, after next week, talking about WrestleMania and what happened. We begin Raw this week in Atlanta, Georgia, and we begin the show with a bunch of tables and chairs in the ring that it doesn't look like anybody's going to get hit with at first. We have a talk segment to start the show off because that's always fun. Between Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey and Triple H and Stephanie. And this goes on for entirely too long, the end of which being that, of course, people start coming to blows, and it ends with Hunter hitting Kurt Angle from behind, because I don't think, the last time I think Hunter actually walked up to somebody and hit them in a way that would be considered fair and honorable, I think Bill Clinton was still president. Ronda grabs Hunter by the throat, and I'm going, oh God, oh yes, oh God, oh please. But Stephanie manages to grab Ronda and puts her through a table. And Stephanie's all like, ooh, look what a bad bitch I am. And I'm going, please, dear Lord, I don't ask for much, but Lord, please let this come back to bite them on the ass at WrestleMania. The first match of the evening, which took an awful long time to get to, is Bayley going against Sonya Deville of Absolution, who has Paige and Mandy Rose at ringside with her, because apparently, there's that old joke about how women have to go to the bathroom in packs. Apparently, these three just can't go anywhere without each other. The winner of the match was Bayley, and after the match, Absolution attacks Bayley, and Sasha comes out to save Bayley? Okay. But it's kind of like she's saving her, but also lording over the fact that she feels like she's better than her or whatever. I don't know. It was weird. Following a commercial, we got a video package about Asuka's winning streak and celebrating the birth of Miz and Maurice's new baby, who was born the week before. They had a little daughter, so much congratulations to the two of them and their burgeoning and growing family. Obviously, much congrats. Miz comes out to the ring and goes to the announcing table to sit with the announcers for the match of Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor, his opponents at WrestleMania. As I've mentioned before, this kind of a match, there is only one winner, and that is me. You have a match like this, I'm the one that wins, because you've got Finn Balor and Seth Rollins, and I don't know about the rest of you, but that makes me very, very horny. Happy! Sorry. Did I say horny? Oh, gosh, I don't know why I said that. By the way, I have to say real quick, Finn Balor, blue trunks, loving them! Loving the trunks, dude. Awesome. They look fantastic on you. Absolutely everything looks fantastic on Finn Balor. Nothing would look fantastic on Finn. Did I? Oh, sorry. Went there. Awesome match. You can't actually think these two wouldn't put on a technical, an amazing technical match. Seth Rollins wins with the blackout. We have another video package talking about the Universal title, and and then a backstage segment between Kurt Angle and Paul Heyman. Kurt basically being like, rein in Brock tonight, don't antagonize Roman, and Paul Heyman being like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. Why do I have a feeling that's not going to happen? We get a segment with the Sheamus and Cesaro in the ring talking about Braun Strowman and what's going to happen at WrestleMania. Braun comes out and says that he's still not revealing who his partner is. He says that his partner is a lot like him. He's going to get his partner. He says his partner is like him, but he's not like him. He's also a little bit different. And we get Braun's entrance music, and Braun comes out wearing a white, buttoned up shirt and glasses. And he says his name is Brains Strowman. Oh, listen, crickets. Wow. Really? We went the Clark Kent route? Really? We decided to do that? So this whole thing turns into a, big, enormous mess. And Brains Strowman goes up against Cesaro, and I don't think this even had a winner. I don't think it even had it was a mess, never mind. We have a tribute from Goldust to Andre the Giant, and then we get a match between Goldust and Matt Hardy to see who is weirder. No, it's not quite like that. It's just, I'm like, okay. Both of you guys have gimmicks I don't get. I mean, they're entertaining to watch, but what the fuck? The both of you, it's just what the fuck? We have Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in the backstage area and talking about the whole fact that Renee is interviewing Nia Jax and making a lot of remarks about Nia's weight and all this stuff like that, which just really makes me want to kick the living shit out of both of them and kick the living shit out of the writers for keeping up with this body shaming crap. Following that, we have John Cena, who comes out to the ring and gets in the ring and keeps talking about what is going on with this whole thing with him and The Undertaker, which isn't actually happening, or doesn't seem to be happening. And it gets extremely nasty. We get to the end of it, and John lets loose with one of the most vicious lines I've ever heard when he says, talking about The Undertaker, it's obvious that he had left his last loss at WrestleMania where he was, defeated by Roman Reigns and took off his hat and the gloves and everything and left them in the ring, which was so moving and it was unbelievable. It was an unbelievable thing to watch. John says that you left your hat in the ring, but you left your balls at home. And I was sitting there like, oh, wow. We actually went there. Holy shit. After commercial, we have Roman Reigns in his locker, the room that he's, changing in and stuff, and Kurt Angle comes in. Kurt says that, he's basically telling Roman, do not go out there and antagonize Brock. Just, let it, just make sure that if, his whole thing is let Paul run his mouth and all that. And Roman says that he'll be chill and he'll stay in the back unless Paul says something that, gets him to go out front, and then he will go out front. We are then joined in the ring by where we have Elias in the ring talking about WrestleMania and talking about how he is going to have a wonderful performance at WrestleMania. I myself, me personally, would rather listen to a 12-hour tape of nails going down a chalkboard. Just my own personal opinion. And Heath Slater comes out to the ring along with Rhino, and there's a match between Heath and Elias wins. We have another commercial break. When we're back from commercial, we see Braun Strowman in the back. And he is stopped by, of all people, Kurt Hawkins. And Kurt has on a shirt that says, "Pick me, Braun." Now, apparently, Braun Strowman has some sort of, maybe the glasses he was wearing earlier kind of messed with his eyes. Because apparently he thought "Pick me, Braun" was another way to say beat the crap out of Hawkins and throw him through a wall. Because that's what happened. The interview with Renee Young and Nia Jax is actually, it's a really good interview. And Nia basically ends it by saying she's going to squash Alexa like the insect that she is. And this is after calling her an insecure little girl. I would have called her an insecure little word that you can't say on TV. But, you know, that's because I have no filter. Following that, we have Alexa Bliss and Mickie James going against Dana Brooke and Asuka, which ends with Mickie tapping out to Asuka because, please. After the match is over, Alexa and Mickie attack Asuka, and Nia Jax comes out to the ring and manages to chase off the heels. We see Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar in the backstage area, and then they come out front, and we have a bunch of wrestlers standing at the ramp to keep Roman from coming out if Paul shoots his mouth off too much. And Paul proceeds to, you know, talk, which is what Paul Heyman does the best. You know, it's the usual stuff that he's talking about, and it's really making me dislike Brock Lesnar more than I ever thought I could, and I've really hit the point where the dislike I have of him has slid into blind, unreasonable hatred. So, there's that. Roman Reigns comes out to the stage area, and at first the guys try and block him, but Roman says to them and brings up a very good point that, you know, you guys are out here all the time working and you're going to protect that part-time dick. And the guys talk about it for a minute and they part. Roman Reigns gets in the ring and Brock Lesnar backs the fuck up and only gets back in the ring when he gets a chair. It proceeds to get extremely physical and ends up with Brock hitting an F6 and leaving Reigns in the ring, and that was the end of the show. I have to be honest, for a before WrestleMania show, this didn't, if I wasn't convinced to get WrestleMania, I'm not sure this would have been the show that would have convinced me. But I don't know what would have convinced me. I don't know. Maybe I'm being cynical. Maybe I'm being spoiled. Maybe I was just, you know, in a dark place that day. I don't know. The following evening, we have SmackDown Live from Nashville, Tennessee, and Daniel Bryan coming down to the ring. Daniel is soon joined by his partner, for this Sunday, Shane McMahon. And, it's an interesting little, discussion between the two of them that ends with them hugging. That was awkward. I don't have a problem with men hugging. I'm all about expressing your feelings, but it's just, Shane brings up that he's not a hugger, and that's really a lot more about Shane McMahon than I really wanted to know. The first match of the evening is Charlotte Flair going against Natalya. And we go through the whole thing again with Carmella showing up with her Money in the Bank briefcase and almost cashing it in, but not cashing it in. And Charlotte winds up winning the match after locking Natalya in the figure four and getting Natalya to tap out. Once the match is over, Asuka's music begins to play, and she comes down to the ring, and she says that she wants to know if what she says basically is that Charlotte, who they call the Queen, is going to bow down to Asuka, who is called the Empress. And Charlotte takes the mic away before she can finish what she's saying, and she says that she's ready for WrestleMania. And the question she's asking Asuka is, are you ready? We have an interview segment in the back with AJ Styles talking about all of the, I don't know what the hell it is you'd have to talk about this whole thing between him and Nakamura. Nakamura's playing some serious mind games, and he's really fucking good at it, too. We have a couple of other, promos and stuff like that. And we have Bobby Roode going down to the ring, and we have Bobby who's sitting at ringside when Sunil Singh comes out and has, introduces Jinder Mahal. And Aiden English comes out and for Rusev, obviously, because those two are joined at the hip, and I don't get it. We have Rusev going against Jinder Mahal, which turns into just basically, a total cheat fest when there's heels involved. And of course, we have the whole match going back and forth, and Bobby Roode on the microphone with the announcing team being as sarcastic as possible. I never realized Bobby Roode was such a sarcastic shit. I really didn't. He's really good at it. The winner of the match was Rusev. His celebration is cut short by Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere, because you have to say it like that for some reason. Which turns into a complete clusterfuck because Bobby Roode gets involved, and it just goes on from there. Shinsuke Nakamura, when he's asked what he's doing with this whole thing with AJ, he's been asked if what he's doing is playing games, and he says that he is playing games. Yay for honesty. But it's a game that he's taking very seriously. That the reason that he came to America was for WrestleMania. And he does say one thing that he does not take lightly, and that's AJ himself. And that all this is going to end with a knee to face and Nakamura as champion. In the back, we have the New Day, who are there to, they're talking about WrestleMania and how the fact that WrestleMania is going to be free for people who subscribe to the WWE network. I think for a limited time. I'm not sure when it ends. The Usos appear in the shot, and they start kind of jawing back and forth with New Day, and talking about how they have this match at WrestleMania, and how everybody involved, the New Day and the Bludgeon Brothers, are going to, go down in defeat. Which brings out the Bludgeon Brothers, who then smash up the camera with the big ass hammers that they carry around. I'm sorry, there's only one person I know that can carry a big ass hammer and look really sexy doing it, and neither of you guys are him. So, unless your name is Thor, don't carry around a big hammer, because it's not really attractive. The following match after that was Ty Dillinger, Zack Ryder, Fandango, and Tyler Breeze versus Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, and Primo. which was won by Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Primo, and Dolph Ziggler. Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable continue to bitch about the fact that they don't have a match at WrestleMania. And then we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming in through the crowd and basically being assholes. And I'm kind of like, why aren't these people being tossed out by the cops? Because they don't fucking work here right now. Shane and Daniel come out and they're basically saying, this is the part that I'm going, I have a bad feeling about this, to paraphrase Star Wars. Daniel tells the camera dudes to put the camera on Owens and Zayn, telling them, telling the people in the audience, take out your phones and film this because, what you're seeing is history. What you're seeing is the last time that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will be on SmackDown. And Shane suggests that the crowd start to sing and suggests singing the Na Na Hey Hey Goodbye song. I really have a bad feeling this match is going to end in a total screw job. We have the final match of the evening, which is Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles working as a tag team against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, which is won, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, by AJ and Shinsuke. Once the match is over, Styles and Nakamura try to have a discussion in the ring, but Benjamin and Gable attack them and they're easily dispatched again. AJ makes like he's going to hit Nakamura, and Nakamura actually does flinch. AJ then reaches over and pats Nakamura's head and leaves, showing Nakamura he can play games too. Out of the two of them, I think SmackDown sold WrestleMania coming up better, in my opinion, for what it's worth. Are you looking forward to WrestleMania? What are you looking forward to at WrestleMania? I would love to know. If you want to send an email to me, you can send that to platinumroselle@yahoo.com and put Ring Around the Rosie in the header, and I'll know that it's about my show. If you'd like to listen to the other shows I am involved with my husband, and also on my own, I have another solo show called Platinum Rose's Garden, which is my supernatural podcast over at platinumrosesgarden.com. TC and I have a movie podcast that we do together called Subject Cinema. We also have a list show called Front Row 5 and 10, and he has a full solo show and 2 mini solo shows. Catastrophe Vortex, 3-day weekend, and Tuesday Digidex. You can check those out as well. And you can also check out the other members of our family, including Cavebabble and Comic Grotto. If you like any of our shows, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And I hope everybody continues to have a great week out there. This is Platinum Rose Lady signing off for another week. Looking forward to WrestleMania.
Podcasting's choice. From coast to coast, continent to continent, right here 24/7.